Okay, so we are here to discuss movie news and we're
gonna milk this fucker for all it's fucking worth.
So yes, this is about the yet even more Ghostbusters news. We'll get to what we thought about like the whole Ghostbusters 3 thing and stuff like that, but this is in response to the news that we've heard about.
I don't think it's Ghostbusters 3, it's Ghostbusters reboot.
Yeah, like, is it a reboot or is it, whatever.
It's not even reboot, Ghostbusters... Just Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely Kristen Wiig.
know.
It's unlikely Kristen Wiig's gonna play Dan Aykroyd, you know. So it's like, is that a 3? Is that a reboot? Whatever. It's kind of its own thing.
Rebusters.
There you go. So this is a response that they're pretty much trying to make like a franchise, I guess. Like not just on a movie, but like they're doing a couple spin-off movies and stuff like that. You've done more research than I have.
This is what I scribbled down. So apparently Sony is forming something called Ghost Corps or Ghost Core. I don't know what you do with that S in core, but I don't know if it's plural or not. So it's either
it's a pun, it could be corpse like dead.
Yeah, it's either Ghost Corps. Now there's no E, so it's either Ghost Corps or like Ghost Corporations or Ghost Corps, as in one corporation, or an army corps.
Anyway, what are they doing with it?
Yeah, so they're forming this little division at Sony. And they're bringing in Ivan Reitman and Dan Aykroyd to quote-unquote scare up new branding opportunities. Reitman and Aykroyd claim that this was always their original idea anyway, that when they did the movie 30 years ago, they wanted to dream up this whole universe or whatever of like Ghostbusters movies and franchising opportunities and this and that. Of course we know that didn't happen. We got Ghostbusters 2 and then the whole thing disappeared, but I can't even say it disappeared because we had the cartoon show, which was really good. The Ghostbusters were certainly in video games.
And the spin-off.
We've got the video game back, which begs the question, do we need more Ghostbusters movies, or could this have just existed like the Star Wars movies existed in their own other universe until the prequels came back?
Well,
like, there were books, there were games, there was.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. So pretty much they're talking about.
Yeah, so they're scaring up new branding opportunities. We're really hip, and as part of this, they're looking at Joe and Anthony Russo to write and direct. Now, they actually have a good pedigree because they did Captain America.
Now, when I
too.
say branding opportunity, they're talking about other movies, so kind of like spin-off movies.
Movies, franchises,
shows,
video
I even think I heard, yeah.
And free balloons for the kids. You know, all that stuff, the hot thermal mug, all that shit you saw in Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
My guess is they're talking about that. So they're getting Joe and Anthony Russo, they're going to tap them to produce, was it produce and direct? Or no, to direct.
And then Channing Tatum is producing / maybe starring, and most likely starring.
Yeah, Channing Tatum to produce and possibly star in his most Tatum way. I don't know. And then Drew Pearce, better known as the Iron Man 3 screenwriter. To write the script.
You see, they weren't really Ghostbusters. They were just pretending to be. They're actually all British actors, just pretending to bust ghosts.
No, all ghosts will be played by Ben Kingsley. They'll bust the ghost, and it turns out it's just like some old Ben Kingsley, just like, I'm not even really a ghost.
There's no ghost, it's just a light show. And Walter Peck would be right. And
if you do that, you could have the ghost of Gandhi. Let's make this happen.
And bottom line, we're fine with all of this as long as Walter Peck is in all of them. That's really the only thing.
You thought it'd be more fun to insult me. Well, now it's my turn, wise ass.
So we should probably go back. I mean, just like...
People think they're seeing ghosts, but what they're really seeing is just an endless rehash of an idea that, should have just been allowed to die a dignified death 20 years ago.
They caused a franchise. They caused a franchise explosion. We should probably just go back to
where do we start? Should we start at the beginning with female Ghostbusters?
Even before that, the idea of a Ghostbusters 3 at all in my opinion. I'm sorry for looking really overexposed here. Sorry, it's
Not
just the
a
lighting.
fan.
So Ghostbusters 2 came out. People forgot they hated it and demanded a Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah, something amazing happened. It turns out that all of the people who said Ghostbusters 2 sucked suddenly changed their mind and were just like, oh my god, we need Ghostbusters 3!
So everyone looking for their next Crystal Skull to complain about demanded a Ghostbusters 3, and the original cast, they want everyone in there. This script has been bumping around for eons, and apparently
Bill Murray, I think, wisely decided that they all look old and this would be silly.
So he was the big holdout. Everyone else was in. And then Harold Ramis died, and then I guess Murray was like, oh, maybe. We're very much paraphrasing it. Like I said, we're not there. We don't know. I'm going to turn the exposure down. I'm going to put this on automatic because that was driving me nuts.
Are you going to edit this out of the final?
No, this is all going to be in there.
But you'll destroy the illusion.
Yes. Oh, and the automatic did nothing. Okay, I'm just going to turn it down a few notches. Yeah, because that was driving me insane. Okay. And now it's too dark. Who cares? Control lighting. That's what I should have here.
Fix it in post.
Yes. So,
in fact, fix it right there. Just like poof.
So anyway, so finally, this reboot's been talked about for years and years and years, and finally,
the video. We should mention the video game because the video game many people consider
was
the unofficial Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah, where the voices are back and they.
Yeah, and the video game was good. Bill Murray, sleepwalked through it, but that's.
It's kind of what he's been doing recently half the time, but that's kind of this performance.
Honestly, to me,
anyway,
if you want proof that Ghostbusters 3 with the original cast wouldn't work with Bill Murray in it, like the video game is a good example. I just don't think he cares. Like, and that's fine. Like, but
it's in the
then
past,
don't do it for the paycheck. But.
Yeah. So finally this Ghostbusters 3 is greenlit, and they get Paul Feig, hopefully I'm saying that right, and he wants to do it with an all-female cast with Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, I think is her name, and then I forget the other one, some sort of SNL alumni.
Basically, apparently the only 4 female comedians that anybody ever turns to.
Well, I was actually making predictions. I was saying like maybe Tina Fey, maybe Sarah Silverman. I did get Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy though, so I props to me on that. That was my prediction.
I would have killed if Tina Fey was Egon. Amazing.
But so this gets out, and people, big surprise on the internet, are kind of split. Some saying, "Hey, great opportunities," whatever. Others say, "Son of a bitch, it's not. Dig up the corpse of Harold Ramis and bring him in. We want the original." Have them hunt the ghost of Harold Ramis. That way they can all be together.
That would be amazing.
Some people are such purists.
So now that you're dead, what do? I collect spores, mold, and fungus on my corpse.
We will miss you. We will miss you, Harold Ramis.
I love Harold Ramis.
That was like when we heard the news for that.
And the see, there's 2 separate reactions. My reaction is generally, we just don't need to do Ghostbusters to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not into just generally the idea. I'm like, it is what it is. Again, maybe we should start coming with original ideas. And then there was the reaction of like, oh my god, oh, chicks, ooh, icky cooties, ooh, chicks. Like, it's sexist. It's so sexist that they would have 4 women and not 1 guy. Can you imagine a Ghostbusters movie where
all
4
one gender?
people were played by 1 gender?
Fucking crazy,
it, sir. This is the 21st century. I mean, you can get away with that thing in the 80s, but like, oh my god.
By the way, I have lots of girlfriends. They all come up to me and they say, I read your blog, it was very insightful. Please take my breast. Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, so
this thinking gets me laid a lot.
That argument, as far as I'm concerned, that argument can go straight to the trash. If they want to do a movie with 4 female Ghostbusters, I don't care. Why? Because we've already done a movie with 4 male Ghostbusters, so at least it's different.
Yeah, no,
not only did we do it, we did it twice. This is sexist?
My thought for something that absolutely does not need to exist at all, for the love of God, do something different. And this at least is different. But I mean, I don't know, am I the only one who was just like, well, who are the Ghostbusters? Who's playing them? Everyone was immediately reacting to like, women, no! Or this latest news that they're doing a spin-off where they're all men, no! Like the other extreme. And then, who's playing
Well, this
them?
is what that makes me laugh too, because that's like, fine, then we'll go back to male Ghostbusters. It's not about sex! It's sexist! No! And the funny thing is, I actually agree in as much that I am always for doing something new.
Yeah.
Do something new. So the fact that they're like, we're doing male Ghostbusters, I'm like, but you did. Like, how about co-ed then? Why don't we just do co-ed? We've had one set of male, one set of female, and then, the next set, if you're going to do it, I don't think you should, but if you're gonna do it anyway.
Oh, I see. Not
make 'em
doing all the
co-ed.
way, just doing half and half. I see how it works. It's
Thanks, bum.
No, the internet, will you stop being a South Park episode? Will you stop being the giant crowd that's always like, marble, okay, we'll do this, marble. It's like everything's a fucking extreme. Just relax.
So, do I think the Ghostbusters movie with the all-female cast is going to be particularly good? I will always wait and see. I'm not going to prejudge and say it's bad.
Yeah, it could suck. Could be great. Who knows?
Generally, from what I know from my experience, I would say probably not. Do I think that's going to be because it's an all-female cast? No, it's going to be because Hollywood sucks. You could have cast.
Thing's done some good stuff. The Heat was really fucking funny.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe it'll work. Maybe the studio won't micromanage things. I mean, it is Sony. We know they have a proud history of destroying franchises. So, but.
Before they even get started.
To me, whether it lives or dies is not going to be this time around. I mean, the first one was lived or died based on the cast. But I think that even style of filmmaking is so just... It's gone. It's long gone with the 80s and early, like, that concept of just like, well, we can have a cast alone save a goofy idea. And
I'll disagree a little
What?
bit.
Okay, what?
There's some movies like This Is the End or like Neighbors and stuff like that, where it's like these are not especially funny ideas, but the cast, or even to some extent, even something like the Lego Movie or something, where it's like the voice acting, like written, it's not that funny, but the way they work off each other, kind of improvise, it makes it really entertaining. I think the cast can. It's not as
I don't know
often.
how much of the Lego Movie was improvised, but I maybe will give you that. But what? Okay, This Is the End was as influential as Ghostbusters.
Oh, I don't know about Okay, maybe not influential, but the stuff that you can get a good movie, just
That
based on the
movie
cast and not
works,
necessarily the idea.
And all the critics liked the movie, and that movie became famous because it was four guys basically improvising.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you read the original script, it's funny how little makes it, like, the plot's there, but all these individual lines, you're like, wow, they just really were riffing off each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see that style of filmmaking really, like, coming back and making the impact that Ghostbusters did.
I don't know if it's making the impact. I'd argue a little
Maybe
bit
it
of,
will.
like, maybe not underground, because like I said, Neighbors is a big hit, and This Is the End. Sort of that Seth Rogen-ish crowd.
But are we putting those even in the same category as Ghostbusters?
No, but saying
That's
that,
what I'm
that
saying.
kind of movie is dead, it's like, no, I think it's around, it's just not to Ghostbuster
That kind of movie
levels.
as being alive and seriously influential, something that could become as giant as Ghostbusters, I don't see that. Yeah, can you think of an example?
I mean, not quite to that extreme, but then again, like, This Is the End had a big budget, I mean, these are films that aren't just underground indie films. I mean, they are
I'm not
giving
saying they're underground
money.
indie films, but
No, but they must mean there's some success. But no, not to the
Ghostbusters
point.
is Ghostbusters.
Not to the height of
It's like comparing it
Ghostbusters.
to Star Wars or Indiana Jones. I mean, it's huge.
Okay, no, not to that level. No.
No, so I don't think they're going to live and die by the all-female cast. I think you could cast 4 cans of soda, and if the movie fails, it's just going to fail because it's not put together well, it's not written well, I don't think the casting is really going to make it. The casting did make the first movie, but it's because the comedians they got, were from basically all SNL and...
Or Second City and stuff.
Yeah, and Second City, and because the director literally Reitman would be like, here, well, we'll shoot one take where you're reading the script and then just go nuts. And everybody got in on the act.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're not going to do that again, and I don't know if he will, I don't know. I feel like this is going to be way more studio controlled than anything else. In which case, it's like it doesn't matter.
Actually, I'll even bring up Paul, which is why maybe Paul Feig is kind of the perfect choice. Both Bridesmaids and The Heat, I thought worked better in The Heat, but both of them had kind of a feeling like they were kind of working off each other and improvising in certain scenes. Like a lot of stuff is obviously scripted, but you still kind of felt that improv element in there. But
they're not Ghostbusters. This is my problem. I'm not blaming it on him. I'm like, if
so
Sony is going to this trouble, do you think they're just going to be like, hey, here's a blank check, do whatever you want?
Yeah,
I'm sure that there's going to be like ninja executive spies in camouflage suit and ties up against the wall, watching everything with binoculars and scribbling down a million notes, which they will then pass on and be like, fix it, fix it, fix it. Like, that's what I think is going to happen, and that's what I think if this movie dies, that's probably going to be it.
Can't you have the ghost form like a Sinister Six, and you give them all backgrounds?
See, I think it's going to be too manufactured, and Ghostbusters, the first film, wasn't. Honestly, that was part of my problem.
Well, the effects are pretty manufactured.
Those
are pretty damn good effects.
I mean, it didn't feel like here is some studio cash cow dumping ground. It became that because the idea was so.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean,
but it wasn't cynically started as that. It was started by Dan Aykroyd's, crazy idea, but like he really believed in it.
Well, let's be honest.
Now we're past that.
You were talking about, the first one, kind of like Ghostbusters did just have this magic combination, the right timing, and
lightning
everything.
struck. I mean, because they can't strike twice.
Yeah, and the perfect proof of that, even though I don't despise the film or anything, is Ghostbusters 2. Everything was the same. They brought all the same people back. They got a new villain and great effects and stuff like that.
Well, that's a different problem, though. That was the problem. That was everything was the same, and yet it wasn't the same. By being the same, it actually just felt like a retread. And then even then, there were things like, we gotta have a baby.
Yeah,
Bill Murray's playing with the baby. Isn't that? I'm like, really, like Venkman's playing around with a 1-year.
But I mean,
but
that's what I'm talking about. That even just by getting, the cast can make or break a film. That was the exact same cast, but it could not save that movie. It's still not god awful in my opinion, but I mean, still not a good sequel.
Okay, but I will say this: that what little there was in Ghostbusters 2 is actually made by that cast, though.
True, but
it doesn't save the film and make it a great movie, but honestly, I still consider Ghostbusters 2 immensely entertaining, despite not really being a great movie. Like, you look at it and you're just like, wow, this is really kind of a meh movie that's saved by the cast.
Peter McNichols.
Yeah, Peter McNichols, great.
He's bigger. There definitely are. That's why I don't despise it. But yeah, no, like you kind of said, it's an idea that it's like maybe there's some possibilities. It would be fun to see like maybe kind of different teams of Ghostbusters out there or something like. But I don't know. I almost see them more in like kind of the video game world or something like that, or like the comic world. It's kind of weird to see like
because you could keep
different movie
going
versions
in the comic world and retain some of what makes it fun for the people who really like the original.
Yeah, you know what it seems like?
The comic world is timeless. The video game world is timeless. You can mess with that. You can get somebody else to do Bill Murray's voice or write him out.
You know what it feels like to me? It feels like if someone was to take like Blues Brothers 2000, years have gone by, the sequel is finally coming out, and it's like, all right, Blues Brothers 2000 is coming out. We're getting, a totally different cast, and stuff. And you want to know what else? We're also going to have spin-off movies and toy lines and video games. It's like, why don't you wait and see how the movie does first? Because you could be totally bombing.
This is my biggest point. I posted this, and that was my only point. I'm like, listen, I mean, some of the names here sound good.
Yeah, they could be great. Who knows? Channing Tatum can be funny.
Yeah, I liked Captain America too. Aykroyd and Ivan Reitman have done good work. Lately, I don't know about so much of what I think Aykroyd's biggest accomplishment was making a vodka or something, but
it is very good vodka.
It is very delicious. It helps make news like this go down much more smoothly. But the concept of throwing all of these eggs into one basket before the film is even released, I don't know. I just don't get it. It's like, shouldn't you make sure that this all-female cast that this movie works first before, because and I'm sure this movie will make money, because even if it's terrible, the morbidly curious will show up. But if it just does that, just makes money and nobody likes it, you know, you've then created, you know, this whole division and this whole team to get, like, I don't know, it just seems like they're really jumping ahead of the game.
Even Marvel, for all the connecting, you know, plot lines to the Avengers and the Infinity War and stuff like that. I mean, they had X-Men, they had Spider-Man, they tested it out a little bit to make sure it would succeed.
No, Sony had Spider-Man.
No, but it was still Marvel though. That's what I'm saying. No, but they saw it's like, okay, Spider-Man worked, X-Men worked, Blade worked. Okay, these are kind of coming back. Let's go. Let's start
Fox
to go
had
all out.
X-Men too.
No, but it's still Marvel. You know what I mean? I mean, the idea of going full force with like Iron Man and then having Samuel Jackson at the end, it's like they're seeing comic book movies are working, so we can do this.
There's
and
another
we can
huge difference, because somebody was comparing
this.
this to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, fair enough. If you want to do a Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's fine. You have to have a universe first before you do any of this. Ghostbusters doesn't have a universe. They had a cartoon show, which was great, and they had 2 movies, and they've got a video game. That is not 50, 70, whatever plus years of comics.
Are you forgetting about the masterpiece that was Extreme Ghostbusters, where everything was fucking extreme in the 90s?
I know what I did, sir. So you have to have, like, that base to build from. And honestly, I hate to say it, as much as I love Ghostbusters, I don't see a giant base, like this giant universe with which to draw from and say, because like when Marvel did this, you've got movies, a lot of them which were kind of smaller. Like you have these various movies of like big, small in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like not every, you know, people will go see big ones, but you know, not everybody's gonna see Hulk version 3.0. What version are they on now? You know, but some people will definitely be like, oh yeah, I'll totally suit up for, you know, Iron Man. But even Iron Man was almost a surprise hit. People were like, oh, yeah, you know, like, this actually is really funny and good. Like, with Ghostbusters, that's it. That is the name. You don't have other little characters and stuff to build off of, and if one fails, well, maybe the other succeeds. You just have Ghostbusters.
Marvel's based on storylines that already exist. They're just retelling them now in different ways. It's already written. They're just now retelling it, which is tricky, don't get me wrong, but it's like the universe is there.
If you listen to the commentary, like, this is the other thing. It was Harold Ramis, it sounds like it was Ramis who actually, and Reitman, and at least Reitman's still alive, but they were pulling Aykroyd back a bit and being like, listen, this script's freaking nuts. The Marshmallow Man shows up on page, 30. Yeah. So someone's going to have to rein Aykroyd in if he has any role in this, creatively or otherwise. And, part of that team is gone. We don't have Harold Ramis anymore. So I don't know. I just don't understand.
That's just gonna be your thing, right? I don't know. It's all comes down to I don't know. I think like anything, really, it's like, a hold out and wait and see, what they put out there. But the whole idea of like, whatever, it can't be all male, it can't be all female, whatever. It's like It would be nice if they mix it up. Like, if it was all female and a dude, that's fine. If it was all dudes and a female, that's fine, but it doesn't destroy it.
The problem is not the all-female cast. Anybody who wants to say, oh my god, it's sexist, it's like, the first film had an all-male cast. All you've done is evened it. Where I start losing it now is in like, well, okay, we understand that some of you are upset about the all-female. We're going to bring an all-male cast. And that's where I'm just like, okay, if you're going to do now a second series in this universe, then make it co-ed. Like, we've done one with all male, we've done one with all female. Like, we're even, now go and, make it but it's almost like, are they going to compete then? Is this going to be like a crossover?
It's going to be like Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, like with a female team and the male team. Like, it just dumb.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a weird idea. There's like, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of possibilities for it, but again, haven't seen it yet, haven't seen where it's gonna go. It's strange to have this much behind a film that hasn't really proved itself yet, and so many years behind.
Hasn't proved itself with controversy, both unearned, like, and earned, like, well, it's Hollywood, like, and this has been so many years, like, yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, that's our big conclusion. We don't know. But yeah, no, a lot of it is.
But
like,
at least we know we don't know. Unlike Hollywood, which normally just doesn't know, but thinks they know.
or the internet. It's gonna suck.
That's what the internet is. It's Jay Sherman. It stinks. You haven't even heard anything about it yet. It stinks.
Or it's going to stink. And then if it turns out being good, I knew it
told
was
you.
awesome.
Just like I loved Ghostbusters 2 to begin with.
That is my fucking favorite. It was, bring back the people that made Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, that little masterpiece. It's like, come on, you.
And that's what kills me is I never hated Ghostbusters 2 to begin with, but I never loved it.
Yeah.
I never like some people there are very small subset of people out there that actually like Ghostbusters 2 better than the first one. Like, and that was from the beginning, and I salute them because that must have been a rough life. That's like walking into a room and being like, oh, my favorite Star Wars character is Jar Jar. And I'm like, Crystal Skull, amazing. Like the courage you must have. Like I salute you. But I never hated it to begin with. But I've never like that small subset of people been like, oh, I love it, or retconned it into, oh, I love it. I'm like, no, I watch Ghostbusters 2 and I'm like, there's a lot of things in this movie that are lame. But it is also really entertaining. Mm. He's like the buzzing of flies to me.
Yeah, everything's around Janos.
Yeah,
like everything that's good is around Janos.
Because everything else is a repeat, but
yeah,
Janos.
but he was different. He was new.
Yes, the pain, the sorrow, the suffering. I know this.
Command me, Lord.
There are many advantages to being the mother of a living God.
There should just be an edit that's nothing but Janos scenes. I'd watch that.
I would watch it too. Cut out the baby.
Yes.
Except when Freaky Janos is the ghost nanny comes in. That scene still legitimately scares me.
Yeah, no, that's a. Ew,
I don't even see Peter McNichol dressed as a nanny with red eyes.
Yeah,
I'm like, the weird Mr. Fantastic arm.
So, can't get any. I don't know. We're just gonna keep going back to I don't know.
That's my stock Hollywood reaction is either a very cautious, I don't know, or just. Like Kiss from Futurama.
Like fingers crossed, I think that's always, you always go in with kind of fingers crossed. But now you know why in certain areas we don't care, in other areas we're like,
Yeah, because some people come up to the, can you believe all female cast? Like, I don't care.
Or can I believe all male cast? It's like, we kind of did that,
Yeah.
So it's gonna fail. Like, I'm living on one extreme with another crazy ass extreme.
That's part of the problem is the internet's so big now. Maybe this is different subsets of groups fighting over like
the Menonists or whatever they're called. The men have gotten the shaft for several years. We need to even.
Well, the Menonists are against the all-female cast, and then I know there is some subset of like feminists who are upset that now they're going to do an all-male cast. It's like, oh, we finally get a female cast. It's like, you can't even have that. It's like, now we have to do a male cast just to appease the original. And then there's some people that just like us think the whole idea is just kind of dumb, but at least a female cast is new. And then, there's too many of us. Maybe we should just step away from our keyboards and go outside.
Yeah, it is a nice day.
It's beautiful out.
It's a beautiful day.
What are we doing in here?
I don't know. Let's go for a walk.
Ghostbusters.
It's cold. Let's come back in.